On March 14, 2024, at approximately late morning hours, officers with the Riviera Beach Police Department responded to a call from a local daycare facility in Riviera Beach, Florida, after staff discovered a loaded handgun inside a toddler's lunchbox while preparing meals for the children. The child's mother, 39-year-old Shanae Davis, was contacted and asked to return to the daycare, where officers initiated an on-scene investigation that ultimately resulted in her arrest.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Are you the mom?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Stand right here for me so I can talk to them, and then I'll come and talk to you. How you doing?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for coming.
First and foremost, where's the weapon?
She has, but let me tell you where.
No, where is it now?
She has, and she put it out of her.
Ma'am, where's the weapon?
It's in my car.
Okay, let me get the weapon.
This is the owner.
Okay.
She's getting ready to take me to jail. Are you getting ready to take me to jail?
I need the weapon.
Oh. Ma'am, I'm not trying to get your car, so I'm getting ready to open my door. Hello? Ma'am, she's getting ready to, are you, she said,
Ma'am.
I'm coming. Get it out the glove.
Is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Get it out the
Can you
glove.
hold on? Stand all the way back.
Hello?
Hold on, don't walk on.
I'm sorry. Here's the owner, man.
Okay, hold on. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Okay. It's like, you see, like, they're here. The police are here right now. They're aggressively.
I'm not aggressive.
I'm sorry, ma'am. You're not. But basically what I'm saying is she has her gloves on. She's taking a picture of my gun. She's ready to press charges on me and take me to jail with that. And this is what I'm talking about.
Okay, so what happened? Come talk to me.
Okay, you hold on one second. This is the owner. Hold on one second. Hold on, Miss Jackson. Please don't hang up because I have to explain to the officer.
In the mean, this her phone call?
Yeah.
Like, these your keys?
Yeah.
Hold it right now.
Okay, so.
All right, so hold on. What happened?
Okay, a grave mistake. Okay.
Raise your right hand.
My right hand.
All right. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
All right.
Okay, so my sons go here. I take him to school every morning.
How old is your son?
Okay, so basically, Miss Granger.
Can you get off the phone
I'm
with her
sorry.
right quick?
Miss Jackson, hold on. Okay, it's like 4 police officers here. Oh my God. Okay, so I take my son here. By 9 o'clock, they close the door and they lock the door. I don't carry purses, all right? I keep my gun in my glove compartment, locked in my glove compartment. I just got work done on my tire. They break in cars out where I live. So the only reason why I took the gun out of my car is because I didn't want my car to get broken into and they get access to the gun or whatever. So this morning I took him, I put the gun in his lunchbox to bring it outside instead of carrying it there. Like I said, I don't carry purses. So instead of me, I'm still talking to her.
I already got the zero.
Yeah, and she said she don't want to press charges on me.
Hold on.
Ma'am, it was a grave mistake.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It doesn't seem like anything malicious.
It was a grave mistake. I swear, I'm so sick to my stomach. My son has never seen the gun before. He's never even seen it before. This is why I put it in his book bag this morning and put his book bag under my arm because I don't carry purses. I don't. That's why I don't even carry the gun on me.
You might want to start carrying the purse now.
Right. All right. Let me call you right back.
All right. So you pack in the lunch. You put the weapon inside of the lunchbox, and then what happens?
And I close it and I put it in my passenger side.
Okay.
The whole point was to take it out before and put it in my glove before I get him out of school.
Okay.
9 o'clock, bitch locks that door. And you already know if you have kids, once they lock the door, you can't get in for the rest of the day to get your child in school.
What's your address?
So the
lunchtime
is at 11 o'clock. So it's between 11, 11:30, something like that. So I get a call between 11, 11:30, and they're like, we need you to come up. Can I at least make a phone call?
Alpha 21 Riviera Beach.
What am I being charged with?
Neglect. I'll let you know in a minute, but go ahead. That's simple. I'm gonna talk to her real quick. I'll be back.
Why y'all have to do me like this? And the crazy part about it is I could have just got my son and went home. And now y'all arresting me, y'all can't NTA? Ma'am, sir?
I'm not the investigating officer.
That decision was already made by our supervisor, so.
Who was the supervisor? Like, y'all not even giving me the opportunity to make a phone call or anything.
You can make a phone call, just this is not the time for the phone call.
I'm at my son's school. My son is right in there. Y'all
He
taking
can't
me to
see you,
jail.
ma'am. He can't see you.
And I've cooperated. I said it had to wait for y'all.
Okay, before you go in, let me just.
I don't have nothing
You don't
on
have a bra
over
on?
here.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Have a seat.
Grab that seatbelt.
Go ahead and have a seat. You gotta put your legs in, sweetie.
I need to talk to somebody, ma'am. Can I talk to the officer, please?
Ma'am, the decision already had made. The only thing you could do right now is when we go to the station, if there's somebody else you want to speak to, we'll get that supervisor or whoever else that you want to talk to. But right now, you are under arrest. Okay?
What are my charges?
We're gonna let you know in a few. Are you okay with the godmother picking up your son? Yes.
I'm a good mom to my child, and I'm about to lose everything because y'all.
I'm not doubting that you're not a good mom.
Y'all.
It's just we have to do our job.
I know, but this is crazy right here.
She put it in the book bag just for safekeeping.
Yep.
And forgot to take it out.
Yep.
One out in the chamber. One was in the chamber.
It don't work.
Hello.
All right. So who found the weapon?
My teacher, I was standing there talking to the teacher,
Is she here?
and she discovered it, so it was kind of like both of us.
Can you, both of you guys talk to me? All right. So where were you guys normally when you located the weapon?
Well, all the kids were at the table getting ready for lunch.
All right. So can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear that the statement you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Can you tell me what happened?
All the children were sitting at the yellow table. I sits at the yellow table. I did like a circle round. I opened up one child. He was the last one that I got to. So I got to his lunchbox. I opened it up, and when I went to reach for his sandwich, after I picked up the sandwich, I saw the gun at the bottom of his lunchbox.
And then what did you do?
Freaked out, and went to the office and told them like, hey, there's a gun in here. I was like, there's a G-Win. And Ms. Sean ended up entering the classroom, and when she entered, she removed the lunchbox from the class.
Okay, anything else that you want to add to the statement?
No.
Okay. Can you tell me what happened?
I was standing in the doorway talking to the teachers down there. My teacher, Shaquisha, was opening the kids' lunchbox, so when she got to that particular child, she unzipped the lunchbox, and she went to reach it. She said, "Oh!" And I was like, "What? And she was like, "Come." So she said what it was. So I then went down, opened the lunchbox. I saw
What color was the lunchbox?
lunchbox is like a black, maybe navy blue. It's like a dark color with like maybe like white lines in it or something like
Can you
that.
do me a favor? Can you go in her car and get that lunchbox out of the car? It's in the front seat.
It's in the car?
Yeah.
Her car?
Yeah. Okay, so you got the lunchbox.
So I got the lunchbox. I felt the heaviness of the lunchbox, so I know it was definitely a real weapon. But I wanted to, make sure. So I retrieved gloves. I put gloves on. Took it out to make sure that it was a real weapon. That's when I realized, oh yeah, it's definitely real, definitely loaded. I put it back, stuck it back in the lunchbox, and then I immediately called her and told her she needs to get to the school.
Okay, and then what did she say?
I didn't tell her why I was calling her. I just said I need to see you at the school, and it's urgent. She kept asking me why. I said I just need you here type thing. We hung up. She said I'm on the way. I say maybe 3 to 5 minutes later, she called back, and that's when she realized why we were calling her, and she was like, I'm
Can
so
you show me the
sorry.
area that you guys were in when?
This down here. Right here. He sits right here, right? Right here. He sits, the child sits right here. So it was.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. This is Officer Hunter at Riviera Beach Police Department. So, I know that you're the owner and the director of the facility. So, would you like to prosecute as well?
No, I don't, because he got that baby, and the baby needs somebody. He needs his mama. I don't want to do that. I just thank the good Lord nobody got hurt, none of the other kids got gone, and I'm going to have to let her put him somewhere else. So I'm hoping that will never happen with us again, and I just...
Okay. I have to look. Yeah, I understand, but it's other policies in reference to, because this is a school that we have to go by. So I still have to obviously speak with supervisors and make sure that I'm following all rights and protocols, because even though you might not want to prosecute, state says that I might have to, so I have to go by what they say. So I just want to let you know that I will give them a copy of the case number, and you guys can contact for someone to come and pick up the kid, okay? Because I'm not gonna let her make a phone call just yet. Okay?
Officer, I told her that I was not gonna press charges, but I didn't know what you all was gonna have to do.
We have. It's a whole nother. It's a school, so.
It's too dangerous.
Yes,
I mean,
ma'am.
my little kids, they
asked
take
me
that and they
the
see a
phone
gun,
number
they
for them
play
for
with it.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
All right,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
everything you're doing.
Anytime. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
From a legal standpoint, the moment daycare staff opened the lunchbox and observed what appeared to be a real firearm, mandatory reporting obligations and exigent safety concerns were triggered. A firearm in immediate proximity to multiple small children constitutes an objectively dangerous condition, and staff acted within both statutory duty and common sense safety protocols by securing the item and notifying law enforcement. At that point, police were responding not to a hypothetical risk, but to a confirmed presence of a loaded weapon in a sensitive environment. When Ms. Davis arrived on scene, officers were already operating under a child safety investigation framework rather than a routine property or firearm inquiry. Although Ms. Davis voluntarily spoke with officers and explained that the firearm had been placed in the lunchbox unintentionally as a means of transport, her explanation does not negate the legal threshold that had already been crossed. The relevant issue under Florida law is not malicious intent, but criminal negligence and reckless exposure of a minor to a deadly weapon. Once Ms. Davis admitted that she personally placed the firearm inside the lunchbox and transported it onto daycare property, officers had probable cause to believe a felony offense involving child endangerment or culpable negligence had occurred. Probable cause is based on whether a reasonable officer could conclude that a crime was committed, not on whether the suspect meant for harm to occur. Her own statements supplied the necessary factual basis. At that stage, officers were not required to explore alternative resolutions or allow the situation to be undone retroactively. Law enforcement discretion narrows significantly once probable cause for a serious offense exists, particularly when the offense involves a firearm and a child. The supervising officer's decision to proceed with arrest reflects that legal reality. The daycare director's decision not to pursue prosecution does not control criminal charging authority, as crimes involving child safety are offenses against the state, not private disputes. Ms. Davis's repeated requests to make phone calls or contest the arrest on scene do not create a legal obligation for officers to pause enforcement. While individuals have the right to counsel and communication after arrest, those rights attach during custodial processing, not as a prerequisite to arrest itself. Officers are permitted to prioritize scene control, evidence handling, and child welfare arrangements before facilitating outside contact. Importantly, this encounter never hinged on firearm ownership legality. Even lawfully owned firearms become unlawful when stored or transported in a manner that exposes minors to unreasonable risk. A loaded handgun placed inside a child's lunch container inside a daycare facility meets that standard regardless of intent, past parenting history, or cooperation with police. The investigation also included sworn statements from daycare employees who independently confirmed that the firearm was discovered during lunchtime preparation, that children were present, and that the weapon was loaded. These statements further solidified the evidentiary foundation for arrest and later prosecution, eliminating any ambiguity about the factual sequence of events. From a constitutional perspective, Ms. Davis was lawfully detained, questioned, and arrested based on probable cause supported by her own admissions and third-party witness statements. Miranda warnings are not required prior to voluntary, non-custodial questioning, and her early statements were made before formal arrest. Once taken into custody, the procedural safeguards shift to the booking and judicial phases. This case illustrates how quickly a situation transitions from parental mistake to criminal liability once objective risk to a child is established. The law does not require harm to occur. It requires only that the risk be real, foreseeable, and created by the responsible adult. Thanks for watching. If you found this legal breakdown informative, like, share, and subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comments below.